Freedom, fairness, family. Those are our values, not because they make for nice speeches or good theory, but because we know what they mean to real people living everyday life. And it's time for Democrats to speak that language of real life, like we know how to do in this part of the country, to build a new politics of the everyday that will light our path forward. Radical conservative experiments have failed when you look at them in the harsh light of what actually happens on the ground. What I love working about the local level is that there are no alternative facts when it comes to people's everyday experience. I filled in the pothole, or I didn't. It's not like proving whether I was born in the U.S. It's right there for everybody to see.
The other thing I would say is that, look, you're not going to win everybody over on every issue. But one of the great things about the local, one of the other reasons I believe salvation comes from the local, is that that's where you can establish the common ground. You can get away from some of the BS by getting away from the labels and just talking about where people's lives are at. My partner's family is pretty politically conservative, but his mother has a kind of skin cancer that is very treatable if and only if you have this topical chemotherapy. It's a tube of cream. I mean, it looks like almost like sunscreen or something, only it's $3,000 a pop. And the only reason she's alive is because of the Affordable Care Act and the ability to get this treatment. She's exactly the kind of person that the people in power now pretend to care about. She and her husband run a landscaping business out of the house. They're just good people. They have pretty different politics from us, but we've talked about what happens on her kitchen table enough, right? That we're now in the same place on this very important political issue. But on those closer to home issues, see, the beautiful thing about the local level is it can only get so ideological because we all have a common basis of how we want to live. And actually, it's pretty similar. I mean, everybody wants to live in a safe community with clean, safe drinking water and good schools and nice parks. That's why a lot of people who hate taxes in general will still vote for a specific tax for a road or a schools issue in their community. And the other great thing about local stuff, if you get involved there, is you're not in the same fact-free world. Like as a mayor, either I filled in the hole in the road or I didn't. You can tell, right? Either I plowed the snow or I didn't. It's not like proving I wasn't born in Kenya. Like, you can tell. And there's something about that that just grounds us. And I think it's one of the reasons why you see people more likely to convince other people of things across the aisle when you're thinking about being close to home and talking to people about things they care about. And try not to judge them. You know, even when you hear things, they're just kind of like, whoa, you think that? Just start by sticking to the stuff you think you can find some common ground on. And you might be surprised how far you can grow out of that common ground. Not by shooting for the ideological middle or becoming politically conservative, but just by looking for those things that actually we all believe, we just have learned to talk about them in radically different ways.